First thing that I want to say about brushes is brushes make and allow the drum set to be a completely different instrument than sticks. The kind of things that you can do with brushes, the kind of sounds that you can get, the feel, and you can hear the different feel and perception you get from the music when a drummer is playing brushes. But brushes allow you to make the drum set a completely different instrument with a whole palette of colors that you can't get with sticks. That being said, the things that I practice with brushes are the things that allow brushes to be unique. In other words, the things I practice with sticks, I don't necessarily practice with brushes because it's a different feel for the brush in the hand. It doesn't bounce the same, it doesn't feel the same. And the single most important thing is brushes lack definition. A stick has extremely exact pinpoint definition. Brushes don't. And so that's what I practice. I practice the things to make the brushes what they are and to make the sticks what they are. So the first thing I'm going to show you are the three basic sounds with brushes. The first sound is what I call a regular stroke. It may be the stroke that I use the least when playing brushes, and that's a regular stroke. And here's how it differs from stick. When you play with a stick, you bring the stick down, you allow it to hit the drum, and the stick bounces back up. Brushes don't really bounce that much, and in order to get a fairly accurate pinpoint stroke on the brush, you actually stop the brush above the drum. And the wands, the strands, continue down, hit the drum, and bounce back up. But I don't play into the drum. I stop it about here. You can see the brush is stopping, and the wands are just going down and hitting the drum themselves. But what that involves is contracting both muscles at the same time. So it's a lot more work to make that stroke than it is with the stick, where you're just basically bringing the stick down. They're hard strokes to make. And if I want that kind of definition, I'm going to play with sticks. What brushes bring me is lack of definition. And that's what I want to practice. That's how I want to play the brushes. The second sound I call a dead sound, and it doesn't involve much energy, but you're basically bringing the brush down and letting it hit and muffle the head at the same time. Which is very different than none of those strokes am I flying off the drum. Or it would sound like this. Not a particularly musical sound. The third stroke, and to me the stroke that really makes the brush unique, is sometimes called a sweep. I call it a sweep. And a sweep is exactly that. You're moving the brush across the surface of the head. We're going to talk physics for a second. The faster you move the brush, the louder the volume. So if I want to play soft, I won't cover as much surface area. Let's say in a given second. If I want that to be louder, and you can see I'm barely gripping, just holding onto the brush. If I want to play louder, I just move the brush faster. This is louder than that. It's just the brush making contact with the rough surface. So if I want to play softer, I can move the brush over less of an area and slower. So this, where I'm only moving maybe 6 or 8 inches, is softer than if I make that area larger because now the brush may have to travel about 24 inches in a second versus maybe only 8 inches, and it's going to be louder. This is going to be softer. So you can control the volume by the surface area that you're playing. Now, within the sweep, I can make a little accent which defines the time. So if I want almost no feeling of time, I'll move the brush at a very consistent pace or rate. If I want to give a sense of time, I'll speed the brush up, which makes it sound like there's an accent. All I'm doing is moving the brush faster at one point to give it a pulse. I'm not pressing harder, I'm not pressing down on the drum. You can see I even have my hand upside down, so there's no downward pressure on the drum. I'm just moving faster. I can make it a very sharp attack or a much longer attack. This is longer, here's shorter. All right, so that's a little mini lesson on brushes. Another unique aspect of brushes is, let's say you're practicing with sticks an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, you don't get much cross-training between sticks and brushes. In other words, let's say you're practicing 10 hours a day with sticks. You pick up the brushes, that 10 hours a day with sticks does not help your brush playing. The good news is, even if you only have brushes in your hands 15 minutes a day, it's going to help. So make sure that you have brushes in your hand at some point. The grip, the feel, the technique, the looseness, the sound, all of those things you don't get from having sticks in your hands. You have to have the brushes in your hands. I'm Marc Dicciani. Contact me at mdicciani@uarts.edu, or you can go to my website, Dicciani.com, and I have different sheets, like printouts on brush technique, and I have some play-along recordings. Of course, you can contact Micah Jones and have him come to your house and just play along, which he does for free. Anytime. Or just contact me and I'll send you some play-along recordings so you can practice brushes. Thanks for tuning in.